Today we will learn regarding the spherical mirrors. In the last class, I have told you regarding the spherical mirrors. Why we are calling them as a spherical mirrors. Here they have assumed them to be in the form of a sphere. Hence, they have named them as the spherical mirrors. Not only this, we have learned like there are two types of spherical mirrors. One is a concave mirror and the another one is a convex mirror. Do you all remember, children? Now, in this, a concave and a convex mirror, we said that our concave mirror is a converging mirror, whereas our convex is a diverging mirror. In the last class, we have learned about these things. A concave mirror is a converging mirror. A convex mirror is a diverging mirror. Now here we said that a concave mirror is a converging mirror because all the light rays are meeting at a point. Hence we call them as this mirror as a converging mirror. Whereas a convex mirror, the rays are moving away from each other. Hence, we call them as a diverging mirror. Now, next we have learned like definitions in the mirror. What we have learned? We have drawn the mirror. One side of the mirror we have polished. The other side we call it as a reflecting surface. Okay? Now here the reflecting surface, inner surface is reflecting and the outer surface is reflecting in the case of a convex mirror. We have studied definitions like the midpoint of the mirror, we are calling it as a pole. And we said the rays where all the normals are meeting at a point, we called it as a center of curvature. And the line joining pole to center of curvature, we call this as a principal axis. You all remember this? Okay. Today we will learn some other definitions regarding the mirrors. First one is focus. What do you mean by a focus? Okay. See, in the childhood, you might have played like placing a paper at the bottom and placing a magnifying glass on the top and allowing the light rays to fall onto the magnifying glass. Then what did you observe there? After some time, the rays which are falling onto the magnifying glass, you will observe that the paper starts burning. Okay? Now, similarly, here converging. Converging mirror is which mirror? Here concave mirror. Now, we will learn what do you mean by a focus. Look at it. Which type of a mirror it is? It's a concave mirror. Now on this concave mirror, what is this? Pole of the mirror. Now there is a center of curvature. The line joining the principal axis is the line joining pole to center of curvature. We call it as a principal axis. Now here, in order to know about the focus, we always represent it with small f. Okay? Now what I am doing? I am allowing a number of light rays falling onto the reflecting surface of the mirror. This is a concave mirror. I am allowing the rays to fall onto the reflecting surface. After striking the reflecting surface, what happens to the rays? They will either meet or they will diverge. Now let us see. After striking the mirror, the rays gets reflected. These are all the rays. What happened to these rays? After striking the mirror, these rays are reflecting. Now can I say my incident rays? What I said, whatever rays we are allowing it to fall on the mirror, we call them as the incident rays. Now, are my incident rays parallel to each other or not? Hence, such rays are called as parallel beam of rays. Okay, the rays are parallel to each other, hence we call them as a parallel beam of rays. Now I am incidenting these rays onto the reflecting surface of the mirror. After striking the mirror, the rays are reflected. Now when you look at the figure, are these rays meeting at a point? That point is called as a focus. Okay, what do we call that point? That point is called as a focus. After striking the reflecting surface, the rays will meet at a point. That point is called as a focus. We represent it with small f. Okay? Now, look at the figure. Is there a certain distance between your pole and focus? Is there a distance between your pole and the focus? That distance between pole and focus. There is a certain distance between your pole and the focus. That distance we call it as a focal length. What do we call this? The distance between pole to focus is called focal length. We represent it with capital F. Okay? Distance, sometimes in some books they may give the focus as capital F and focal length as small f. Okay? Nothing to worry. Focus you can represent as in your textbook they have given it as capital F and focal length is small f. Okay? Distance between pole to focus is called as focal length. We represent it with small f. capital F is represented by using a focus. To represent a focus, we use a capital F. Now here, as it is a concave mirror, the rays are converging. That means they are all meeting at a single point, and that point we call it as a focus. Now you may get a doubt. Now what happens to the definitions in the case of a convex mirror? See here, in the case of a convex mirror, is this a convex mirror? Yes. Now what I am doing? I am incidenting some rays onto the mirror. Now what happened? Is this a reflecting surface? Yes. No. After striking the mirror, they are all reflecting. Now we need to find out extending the rays backwards. What I have done? They are not meeting at a point. Then what I have done? I have extended the rays backwards. Remember children, always the extended rays should be shown with the dotted lines. Okay? Not like this. We should show the extended rays in light always with the dotted lines. Now I have extended or extrapolated the rays backwards. Now what happens? They are meeting at a point now. Okay? This point is called focus. Okay? The rays, as they are moving away, we call them as a diverging rays. As the rays are moving away, they are not meeting. Hence, we have extended the rays backwards. The rays, whenever they have extended backwards, they are meeting at a point that is called as a focus. This is in the case of a convex mirror. Okay? In the case of a concave mirror, the rays will not be extended because they are actually the reflected rays, they are meeting at a point. Hence, there is a focus. As these rays are not meeting, hence I have extended the rays backwards, and those rays which are meeting at that point, we call it as a focus. Okay? Now here also, midpoint of the mirror is pole. There is a center of curvature. The distance between pole to focus is focal length. Okay? Like this, these are the terms in the case of your spherical mirrors. Pole, center of curvature, focus, focal length. Okay? Now you don't have any derivations here. Only there is R. We call it as a radius of curvature. That means initially we assumed the spheres in the form of assumed the mirrors in the form of a spheres. Thus the sphere has a center. The center to any point on the circle, what do we call? Is it a radius? Similarly, there is a radius of curvature for the mirrors. Hence, relation. What is the relation between radius of curvature and focal length? The relation is not there for you children. Only you must must remember, because in the problems you may be getting. Radius of curvature is denoted by capital R. Capital R is equal to 2 times F, where small f is the focal length. R is the radius of curvature, F is the focal length. Write in 2 marks or 1 mark they are asking the question. Write the relation between radius of curvature and focal length of a given mirror. You need to write the formula and explain the terms inside it. R is the radius of curvature, F is the focal length of the given mirror. Okay? Now after this, we will learn. See, you have observed in the concave mirror and a convex mirror. In the concave mirror, the reflected rays, they are directly meeting. But in the convex mirror, they are not meeting. Then what we have done? We have extended the rays backwards. Hence, here onwards you will be learning images. Objects and images. Here, see, suppose I am keeping a mirror. Which mirror it is? Concave mirror. There is a pole for the mirror. There is a center of curvature, focus. Okay, focus is there for the mirror. Now, what is this? Assume this as a candle. I have lighted the candle. Then what happens to the light rays from the candle? Do they all fall onto the mirror or not? Do the light rays from the candle will fall onto the mirror? Yes. Now, whenever a candle or a light, whichever thing you are keeping, that one we always call it as a object. Okay. If you are seeing your face in the mirror, where is the object? Your face is the object. Image is your face which you are seeing in the mirror. Whenever there is an object placed before the mirror, there will be an image. We are viewing our face in the mirror. Initially, our face is the object. The face which you are seeing in the mirror is image. Okay? Similarly, here in this case, I am keeping a candle. This candle, what happened? The light rays are falling onto the mirror. This candle is called as an object. Now remember here, distance between pole to the object. Is there a certain distance between your pole to the object? The distance between pole to the object is called as object distance. Understood, children? Distance between pole to the object is called as object distance. We represent it with small u. We need to do so many problems based on this. Okay, that's why Listen carefully. Distance between pole to the object. Wherever you keep the object. Distance between your pole and the object is always called as the object distance. We always represent it with U. As in the plane mirror, we are viewing our face in the mirror. That means your face is the object, your image is your face itself. Now I am keeping a candle, it's an object. When the light rays fall onto the mirror, do I need to get the image there? Yes. Say, I am getting the image here. Let us assume this is not the correct way. I am getting the image here. Okay. Somewhere. I have kept the candle. The light rays are falling onto the mirror. And what happened after striking? If you want here, let me show you another thing. This is object distance. I have kept the object, then I am getting okay. This is the object. These light rays, after falling onto the mirror, I am getting my image somewhere. Okay? The distance. Is there now distance between your pole and the image? There is certain distance between your pole and the image. That distance, pole to the image, we represent it with V. Okay? We call it as an image distance. Okay? Distance between your pole to the image, wherever you are getting the image. That distance is called as the image distance. We represent it with V. Object distance is U, image distance is V. Now, we have learned that whenever there is an object, there is an image. Now, objects, you will be studying here a point object. Objects are point, like a point it can also be. Okay? Sometimes you will be seeing extended objects or like this. Objects will be say, represented with a straight line and an arrow on the top. Now, for these objects, how many types of images you will be getting? Children understood? Distance between pole to the object is object distance U. Distance between pole to the image is image distance V. Now, we study about the images. We have studied there are two spherical mirrors, a concave mirror and a convex mirror. Now, images are also two types. One is real, another one is virtual. How many types of images are there? Two types of images, real image and a virtual image. Now, we will find out what do you mean by a real image. Those images which can be caught on the screen. That means those images which can be seen on the screen are called as the real images. Now, if there is a positive, there must be a negative compulsory. which those images which cannot be caught on the screen. Those images which can be caught on the screen, that means which can be captured on the screen, are called as the real images. Those images which cannot be caught on the screen are called as the virtual images. Say real image. See, you want to see the movie, then we all will be going to a theater. Okay? Where you will be seeing the movie there? On the screen. Yes or no? Those are all real images. Real images are always captured on the screen. Virtual images are those which cannot be captured on the screen. Okay? Why I have told you about these two images? Because in the case of a concave mirror, the reflecting rays, they are actually meeting. But in the case of a convex mirror, we are extending the rays. Whenever the rays are extended, such images are virtual images. Wherever the rays are actually meeting by themselves, they are called as the real images. Real images can be caught on the screen. Virtual images cannot be caught on the screen. Now some more differences are there. Real images are always inverted. Inverted means if I place a candle in the upward direction, lighting upwards, you will get the image in the downward direction. Okay? I have shown you. See, suppose I have kept a candle. Okay? This is the object I have kept before the mirror. Then I am getting the image like this in the reverse direction. Such things are called as inverted images. Real images are always inverted images. Virtual image. If I keep an object and I am also getting the image in the same way, such images are called erected. Okay? Or in some books we call them as upright images. Upright. Okay? Real images are always inverted. Virtual images are always erected. Now real images we will mostly see in concave mirror. Mostly, except in one case. I will tell you when we are drawing the ray diagrams. Real images are mostly seen in the concave mirror. Virtual images are always seen on the convex mirror. Okay? You get the differences. There are two types of images. Real image, virtual image. Those images which can be captured on the screen or caught on the screen are called as real images. Which cannot be caught on the screen are called virtual images. Real images are always inverted. Virtual images are always erected. That means upright. However you are placing the object, the same image you are getting. If you are placing in the upward, you will be getting the image in the upward. If you are placing it in the downward, the image will be in the downward. Real images are always seen in the concave mirror. Virtual images are always seen in the convex mirror. Follow children. Today, you note down your homework. How many types of images are there? Write any 4 differences between them. Note on your second question. Define focus, focal length, object distance, the fourth one is image distance. Okay, these are for your homework. Only the definitions you write for this. First write how many types of images are there. Then write in the form of a table. Always differences should be written in the form of a table. Make a table, a real image, virtual image, and write those differences between your real image and the virtual images. Okay children, thank you.